Okay, here we go. First thing, location. It's a week from today. All right, it's going to be in Gym A. All right, Gym A. If you have not written that down on your location yet on the front of your packet, please do so now. Gym A, which is in front of the auditorium, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Your seat number is already posted on Aspen. Underneath the midterm review folder, which you should see the first folder, one of the first folders on our webpage is midterm review materials, or I don't know how I labeled it. All right, if you open that up, you will see your seat number. It'll say seating charts. Make sure you open period 7 up and jot down your seat number right now. All right, let's talk quickly about a few things. It starts at 1 o'clock and ends at 3 o'clock. You do not get extra time because you don't know how to do a question. All right, it is designed to last 2 hours, maybe less for some of you. You do not get extra time if you can't finish. If you show up past 1 o'clock, you do not get extra time. The test ends at 3 o'clock no matter what time you start. If you are absent because you're really, really sick, which you probably should be, if you're not coming, all right, then I believe you make up a day, maybe Monday after, for you to make up all the tests you might have missed. All right, but hopefully that's not a concern for you if you're absent. All right, please, when you walk into Gym A, the last thing you want to ask me is, where am I sitting? Okay, that should be already taken care of. This document, seating chart, there all the time. Even if you got to take a quick glance at it before you come in to remember where you're sitting, please do so. Do not ask me where you're sitting. That's the last thing I want to hear when you come in. We all good there? Also on Aspen, underneath there, is the midterm review times I'll be available. All right, there's really only 2 review times I'm available because we only have a couple days before the exam after Friday. This Saturday, as I've told you, 12 to 3, I'll be here. And also Tuesday before the midterm, I'll be here as well. Expectations, if you decide to show up, it's not a social hour to bring your buddies. All right, and screw around a little bit. Go do that at Four Corners, at the library, wherever else you want to study. That's not for here. It is a business trip if you're coming here. All right, you're coming here to review for the midterm, ask me questions, all right, work with other people on the midterm. It is not a social hour. I am not up in front of the room going over anything. I will sit down with you and go over whatever you need to, but that's about it. All right, it's just a place for you guys to come study and get work done. All right, it is not a social hour for you and your friends. Now, if you have a friend that does not have me as a teacher, they are welcome to come. But again, reminder, it's not a social hour. All right, so choose your friends wisely, whoever you're going to bring. We all good on the review sessions, and they're also there, come and go as you please. You do not need to stay full time. You do not need to be here on time or leave at the end. You can come and go as you please. All good. Okay, last thing I'll show you on the Aspen website is you should have a link for constructions. Everyone has that link, constructions. All right. I do not plan on doing any constructions over the next 3 days. They take 10 minutes. I personally think it's a waste of time to review in class. So Miss Venezia and I, the other honors geometry teacher, have created a website a couple of years ago that has or a YouTube site that has all the constructions on there. All right, now you'll notice some of them may look unfamiliar. That's because we're doing them in the second half of the year. But if you need to remember how to do a median to a triangle, altitude to a triangle, they're all on there, guys, all on there. And yes, I will sit down with you at a review session and do one with you if you want, but I will not do one up in front of the class. They take too darn long, all right, to review. And who knows, some people may need it, some people may not. You're way, you're not even focused. I don't want that to happen. We all good? Okay, close them up. We're all done. I don't want anybody else surfing the internet while I'm trying to review. Okay, go back to your midterm review packet. You should have the next page is the supply list, your checklist. for Monday night, the night before. Okay, first one on there is blue or black pens. All right, blue or black pens. The reason I'm going to have you bring pens is because, midterm review packet, there we go, is because the entire test is done in pen. Unless you are doing a construction or graph, which will then be done in the second piece of supplies, the pencils. Okay, your entire test is done in pen except for constructions or graphs. Okay, entire test. Calculator, make sure it's charged or has fresh batteries. If you guys need to borrow a calculator from me, you know what the deal is. You owe me a review session. I'm not going to bring any with me, though, to the Gym A. All right, not going to bring any with me. And finally, we haven't used it in a while, but make sure you bring your compass. I'm not going to have any extras. I will tighten them, though, if you want, at Gym A. Straight edge, your A game, and no whining, no excuses. All right, my piece of advice, Monday night, if you have a Ziploc bag at home, get one, toss all the supplies in, ready to go. You can only bring in your supplies, water, gum into Gym A. That's it. Your cell phone will be asked to be placed on a table in Gym A with your name on it, all right, before you go sit in your seat. No backpacks or any of that stuff. No hats allowed in Gym A, all right? Any questions on the supplies? Not going to fly anymore. Put it away. All right? Not going to do that disrespectful stuff. Everybody good here on the supplies? All good. Okay. Format of the test. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look through it. The test format. Let me first start with part 1. That's your multiple choice. It will be done on a bubble sheet, which will be on your desk with your name on it. That is done in pen. All right. There will be a bubble sheet, which you do part 1 on. All right. Part 2 is like multiple choice, but you don't get the choices. They're right or wrong. All right. You do the work out yourself. Tell me what the answer is. That will be done. Wrong one. That will be done on the front of your packet. You'll write those answers. Okay. Bubble sheet for part 1. Write their answers to part 2 on the front of your packet. Parts 3, 4, and 5 are all done in the booklet. Okay. This is the only thing you're getting right here, and a bubble sheet. On the back of your test will be the formula sheet you got yesterday and scrap graph paper if you need it. Okay? That's what you're going to get on your desk, a bubble sheet and this huge packet. All good. Part 1 on the bubble sheet, part 2 right on the test here. All right, right on the test. Parts 3, 4, and 5 in the packet. 94 points total, no curve. Okay, no curve. I don't know if your other midterms are being curved or not, but for an honors level class, absolutely not. No curve. So if you get 50 out of 94, whatever percent that is. All right, no curve. When can you expect your grade? Sometime after Tuesday. I will post it on Aspen like I do any test or quiz. So you don't have to wait till Monday. You'll get a notification. If you get notifications, you can go on whenever you want. Okay, I'll post it just like I do any test or quiz. So you'll know right away once it's graded. Questions there? And what else did I need to talk about? I already talked about the constructions on Aspen. Okay, here's how your overall course grade is determined, just so you know where your midterm factors into. You got your quarter 1 grade, your quarter 2 grade, your midterm, quarter 3, quarter 4 in the regents, and you divide by 6. I show you this, all right, because I know I got some people in here who go, oh, I got a 91 and I got a 92. I've been doing pretty well in this course. I'm going to be doing pretty well on the midterm and not prepare as much. And all of a sudden you get smacked in the face with a 72, which happens usually to a couple students. All right. That's where your 72 factors in now, just as much as quarter 1 and quarter 2 did. All right. So I don't know how seriously you're going to take this exam, but that's how the midterm is going to factor in, just as much as quarter 1 and quarter 2 did. All right. And last thing, see this real quick, Ray. Just because you do this and fill this out cover to cover does not mean you're ready for the exam. All right, I don't want to give you false hope, but you may also want to look at the other tests and quizzes I've given this year. See what you did wrong. Look back at old tests and quizzes, see what you did wrong. All right, can you answer the questions on those as well in addition to what's in the packet? All right, then I think you're going to be you'd be in solid shape. Anything you want to ask there? My final word on this, some of you may get buried. This is an honors level midterm. This is not the Regents where all the geometry students take it. This is an honors level midterm, and we live up to that name. All right, not trying to scare or get you anxious or depressed or whatever. I'm telling you the truth. All right, we are coming strong with this because we want to see who belongs in here. All right, it is going to come strong. And if you don't prepare, you will feel it, unfortunately. No matter how well you've done quarter one and quarter two, I do not care how well you've done. It does not matter when you walk in Gym A next Tuesday. That test is not going to care. All right, how well you've done. We all good? All right, and hopefully you start picking that up as we start reviewing all these different units that we've come across. Any questions about the nuts and bolts? Because I'm done talking about it. Because it's all the next 3.5 days now are all about the actual midterm. Anything. And honestly, don't be offended if I ask someone to leave. Because if we're not focused on the midterm in here, I don't want you in here. Because other people don't deserve that. Questions? All right, let's do it. Here we go. I told you guys to come in with any questions or comments. Period two, excuse me. Had a ton of questions out of the packet. We talked about some other stuff, but you guys could be totally different. So I am going to open it up to you guys, whatever you have for me topic-wise. I'll tell you if it's worthy or not. I only want to talk about stuff that's on the midterm. So if I say don't worry about that topic, don't be offended. All right, it just don't waste your time on that topic because I know it's not going to be covered on the midterm. Sarah, you want to start us off? Skew lines, you got it. A little physical demonstration here for skew lines. I still have my die. Yes, I do. Okay, skew lines. Here we go, everyone. We got a plane, which is going to act as my cube here. Man, you just want to hold that up for everybody. All right, here's the definition of skew lines. And it sounds odd until I show it to you. Skew lines are not parallel and they do not intersect. You're kind of like, how can that be? Well, here you go. Three-dimensional. Here's a line. Here's a line that's skew to it. Are they parallel? Nope. Are they ever going to intersect if this one's up here and this one's down here? No, they will not. These two would be considered skew lines. Okay, do not intersect and they are not parallel. Okay? Yes, on. What's that? 2D, I'd need to give you a 3D diagram. Yeah, I can't do it. It's got to be in three-dimensional. Yep. Okay? Other questions, topics, can be anything from your packet or just topics in general. Yep. Two angles that are next to each other. Yeah. Share the same ray. They share a common ray. Sophia. Okay. Well, why don't we pick one from the packet because I know they're in there somewhere. Unit 5. If anybody wants to let me know the page number, because we did a partition question today, second period, so I know they're in there. Okay, page 54, everybody. Okay, 54, let's pick one to do. I prefer not to do letter A because that's 1-to-1. That's the same as finding the midpoint. So anybody have a preference other than A, what we want to do? Because some of these are nasty. They're not going to come out to be pretty. So D, all right, everyone D, got a calculator ready to go? Okay. It's still up there. There we go. Okay, here we go. 5 to 4, -6 to 5. First thing we find, x coordinate. All right, need your help here because I'm not calling on numbers anymore. It's going to waste time. 5, I'm going from 5 to 4 on the x-axis. Where am I going? How many units? 1 unit in the negative direction. So yeah, I would probably put -1 there because you may forget to do something at the end of this problem. And if I'm going 3 to 4, how many equal pieces am I breaking this line up into? Woo, 7. That's not going to be pretty, as you can see. 7 congruent parts. Because if it's only 1 unit, I got to break that 1 unit up into 7 equal parts. So 1/7, or -1/7, excuse me. Keep traveling that negative with us. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want that sloppy decimal. But here's the thing. You got to realize, based on the ratio, how many times you're moving. What's the first number in the ratio? So that's how many times I'm moving 1/7. So I'm going to take that first number 3 and multiply it by that distance, -1/7. I'm just going to keep fractions this whole time. I'm going to keep the fractions. I don't want the decimals. So I'm actually going to go -3/7. So 3/7 to the left. From what starting point? What x coordinate did I start at? 5. So I'm going to take 5 and say go backwards 3/7 of a unit. And that's where I end up at 32. Is this the 32 one or maybe the next one? 32 over 7. If you guys want to leave it as a mixed number, 4 and whatever sevenths, go ahead. 32/7. That's where I end up. All right, now you got to do the same thing for the y coordinate. Except you got new numbers now to deal with. So I'm going from -6 to 5 now, everybody. How many units? 11 in the positive direction. Still not a great number, right? Take those 11 units and divide it evenly by 7. Again, I don't want the decimal. Not going to be pretty. What do I have to still multiply that 11/7 by? 3. So I get 33/7. Where'd you start from on the y-axis? -6. So -6, add 33/7 of a unit, or units. Check if you can get -9/7. -9/7, there it is. So my partition point here will be 32/7, comma, -9/7. Will it be that fraction heavy on the midterm? No, but if you can't handle these, you can handle them when you can divide evenly. All right, so you can handle these, you'll be fine. Partitions, all good? If you want to go over another one later on in the review, let me know. Tomorrow, maybe Friday, Wednesday, who knows? I mean, Thursday, who knows? All right, whatever you guys need. All right, next up on the review, or question topics in general. Don't find something and say, oh, that looks difficult. Let's do this. I need actual, your individual questions. Yep. Correct. Coplanar lines or lines on the same plane. Oof, all right, this is going to be a rough outing, huh, next week? Yep.
Can you go over, like, wait, number 3, I think, right here, on the page 9? So, when you name a Coplanar point, those are just 3 points on the same side of the shape, right?
3 coplanar points, so I could pick AHD. I could pick ABC. I could pick CDF. There's a whole bunch of coplanar points I could pick. Yep. Yep, those could be the same answers for A and B. Yep. Yep. 3 of them could be on there, but the 4th one's not. That's fine. All 4 don't need to be on different planes. If you pick 3 that are, 1 that's not, that's good enough. Emily?
On page 12, the question 13, if the point A is not contained in plane B, how many lines can you talk through it better?
Which page again?
12.
Yep. I think I know what you're talking about. I just need to get to it. This one here?
Yeah.
How many points can be drawn through point A that will be perpendicular to plane B? Yep. All right, here we go. Let's visualize this. Marin, you're doing a good job today. Hold that sucker up. Okay, here's my plane. 2 hands would be nice. Yep. Okay, I'll just make a fist here, and that'll be my point. And it's looking for how many lines go through the point, correct, and are perpendicular to the plane. Yep, all right. Perpendicular to the plane, what's the problem? Doesn't go through the point. Goes through the point, what's the problem? Okay, so we're starting to see how many are going to satisfy both at the same time. Just 1. Okay, I could give you infinite many that are perpendicular to the plane, and I can give you infinite many that go through the point, but only one of them is going to go through the point and be perpendicular. Okay, thanks. All right, this is killing me here a little bit. All right, can we discuss, because there's going to be 3 proofs on here, all the different types of proofs we've done, so you have at least a starting point of what we need to remember. And I'm talking about big dog proofs here. The main types of proofs we've gone over so far. Evan. That was huge. Triangles congruent. Ever since we learned it, it's been a part of every type of proof we've done. Next, yep. Quadrilateral proofs. Yep. Next up, yep. Not on the midterm, remember. Similarity, not on the midterm. Yep. Indirect proofs have been pretty big. Those are all in your packet as well. And I'm really looking for probably 2 more types, I think. I forgot one. 2 more types. Yep. Coordinate proofs where you have to graph it and use distance, midpoint, slope. And the only other one I would probably put on there that was a pretty main one was parallel line proofs. I know those are kind of contained in all of these really, but that's kind of where all it started, where the proofs started to get a little longer than 3 steps. Okay, I'll let you know right now whether you want to do something with it or not. There's 3 proofs. They're all up there somewhere, those 3 proofs. Okay? All right. Out of those 5 I gave you, 3 of them will be on the midterm, okay, as the proofs. So whatever you want to do with that, that's up to you. I will also let you know, because I let period 2 know it today, so I'll make sure we're both playing a fair game. Test format, part 4 is 1 question and 1 proof. That 1 question is going to be a major construction. Okay, that 1 question in part 4 will be a major construction. I'm not going to get any more detail. You will have to perform 2 constructions total with your compass for me. 2 constructions total. One of them will be in part 4, the major construction, and then the other construction you'll do will be somewhere else. Okay, but you will have to do 2 constructions for me with your actual straight edge and compass. Yep. Yep.
I haven't gotten there yet, but can we go over an indirect?
Sure. Unit 5. Somebody pick a indirect one out for me. Unit 5. I think. 50. 50 what? Okay. 51, everyone. Page 51. Have you guys seen, I probably should have went over this too, how this packet's set up? Where you have unit 1, I give you vocabulary and theorems you need to know, questions, textbook questions, and then all the answers are at the end of unit 1. Unit 2, same thing, okay? So vocabulary, theorems, questions, textbook questions, all answers at the end of that unit. Anybody have one in particular, 7 or 8? 8, okay, here we go with 8. Let me cut it out first. How do I know 8's an indirect proof, first off? Okay, because it's not really a given on the test on Tuesday that I say, ding, 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 do this indirectly. All right. So you got to recognize that it's going to be an indirect proof. All right, let me my statements reasons all set up here. All right, what's given? ABC is not isosceles. And by the way, we go right up to the bell the next couple days. So you guys that like to pack up early and try to race first out to the door, not happening. All right, so I got my given. What's got to come next if this is an indirect proof? My assumption. Where do I get my assumption from? The opposite of the proof statement. So we're going to say our assumption is AD equals DC. And you can use that as a given now. What are you trying to do here? Eventually, you want to do what in your proof? Contradict a given. You have 2 givens right here. Which one is it going to be easier to contradict? Okay, so your goal right now is to show this triangle is isosceles. With whatever you got now. How do I show it's isosceles? I have a pair of sides. That's all I really have. How else can I get it going towards the isosceles triangle? Yep, Victoria?
It says that in the, you can prove angle BBC and BA as right angles.
Yep, I can prove those are right angles. So angle BDC and angle BDA are right angles. And in the givens, it said we had an altitude, so definition of an altitude. And then I must say those angles are congruent because I don't think I'm using HL here, so I need to say the right angles are congruent. All right, where are we going now? Try to get it isosceles. Let's go. Just keep yelling stuff out here. It's the easiest way to do this. Reflexive BD. What do I know about the 2 triangles now? So they are congruent. So triangle CDB is congruent to triangle ADB. What reason? Side angle side. Why is that good to know if the triangles are congruent? Because that leads me to what's congruent now. I can either say AB congruent to BC, or I can say angle A congruent to angle C. Both will make the triangle isosceles. So I'll just go the sides AB congruent to side CB. CPCTC. Next up, what do I know about the triangle now? It is isosceles. So triangle ABC is isosceles. In my case right here, why is it isosceles? Now that's to prove angles or sides. I'm just proving an isosceles. What do I have here? So in a triangle, two congruent sides imply I have isosceles triangle. And then we just have a contradicted your given, right? So once I contradict my given, what do we know about the assumption? Assumption is false. So the opposite, AD, not equal to DC, is true. And we end this with assumption led to a contradiction. And yes, if you remember, you need to tell me what lines your contradiction are in. It's always the given and whatever line you contradicted it in our case, 8. So 1 and 8. Sarah? Perfect. I'm fine with that as well. Other questions here? Yep.
I'm just curious, are we allowed to abbreviate?
Anything I've used up here is fair game. If you decide to use your own, you might want to tread carefully. Okay, anything I've ever used up here is fair game. Anything else? Okay, whatever questions, again, you guys have tomorrow. Topics 2, make sure you can bring topics in as well. It's up to you. All right, but I'm not assigning certain ones.